Hi, everyone. Welcome to our session, Dip Your Toe in Lumio, where we are going to learn how to build your very first Lumio lesson. First, I want to start off with some introductions. Ryan, would you go to the next slide? All right, I'm Hillary Matevia. I am a former elementary teacher, and now I'm a smart training specialist here in South Florida. I saw in the chat, we've got someone from West Palm Beach, which is where I am. Ryan, you want to tell us a little about yourself?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. I am also a SMART training specialist, former special education teacher, been with SMART for about 2 years, also in sunny, rainy South Florida.
Usually sunny, but rainy
Yes.
lately. All right, so today we are dipping our toe in Lumio. Ryan, we head to our goals slide.
Sure.
Thank you. Our goal today is to get you an understanding of how to use Lumio and for you to build your first Lumio lesson. So we're going to take you through our 5 steps of creating, and we'll be sure to give you some time to guide you through, explore on your own. And our hopes today is that you feel comfortable and confident building in Lumio. We'll also be sure to provide you with some resources so you can continue to build with Lumio after our session today. So here we've got our 5 steps of building in Lumio listed. We're going to provide you with a copy of our presentation today at the end. That way you can have this to refer back to. It's really helpful and handy. And while Ryan is in our session, he's going to be modeling some things for you. We won't be referring to the presentation. That's why we want to give you a copy. It's got some really great resources and some step-by-step guides. We'll also be sure to show you where you can access everything. Couple of housekeeping things. One, we've got some moderators in our chat. You may have seen them chatting with you. We've got Casey and Jennifer in there. So any questions that you have, go ahead and put them in the chat, and they will be sure to cover that for you. And we've got some swag that we're giving today. So we're looking for interactive, engaging participants, and we want to make sure that we can pick a winner at the end. So throw your ideas out there. We all learn from each other. And the more that you guys share, the more that we learn and the more that we can show. With that, I think I'm going to hand things off to Ryan to get it started.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Hillary. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start. We're going to go ahead and get started on our Lumio dashboard. So what we're going to do today is we're going to create a couple of lessons. But first, I'm going to kind of take you through how to build a lesson within Lumio. So our topic today is goal setting. So we're going to dive right into completing a lesson in Lumio. So right now I'm on the dashboard. I'm going to show you guys a little bit later on in the session how you would get to the dashboard. But to start our lesson, we're going to go over to this green Add Activities button. We're going to supercharge our lesson with some interactive toolkits that are found within Lumio. So once I click on this green button here, it's going to take me to a content dashboard. And on this content dashboard, again, we're going to touch upon a few of the different elements that are found here. So we're going to start off with a resource that I already have created, and that's going to be a Google slide. So I'm going to go ahead and just select Import Resource. And when I select Import Resource, it gives me a couple of different choices. So I can pull content from my Documents or Downloads folder. Maybe I have a flash drive. I can also pull content from my Lumio lesson library, so things you've created in the past, if you wanted to start with that and add some other things on. But I'm going to go ahead and pull my resource from my Google Drive. So when I click on Google Drive, I'm just going to type in the word goal setting. I could type it up here, but I see that I have my Google slide already here for me. So you can search for it here in the search bar. You can search your different file folders, but I'm just going to go ahead and click on my Google slide and choose select. So once I choose select, it is importing my Google slide into Lumio. It does ask me what slides I want to build and bring in. So maybe you have some question pages or answer pages and you don't want all of the slides, you can click or uncheck the ones that you don't want to bring in. So I want both of these, so I'm going to leave them checked and I'm going to go ahead and select add. And when I select add, it's going to take me to edit mode. And in edit mode, that's where we're going to start to engage, enhance, and kind of go through those 5 steps utilizing Lumio. So again, our goal today is goal setting, or our topic of the day is goal setting. So this is great for setting your school year off with goal setting. So the first thing I want to do is I want to give my students kind of a hook or a opportunity to let me know why goal setting is important. So I'm going to do that through what's called a shout it out. So we're going to go down here to this blue and white plus button. And when we click on this blue and white plus button, it's going to bring us back to that content dashboard. And we're going to choose Shout It Out. So it's under our templates. And you can preview Shout It Out. There's a quick video that you can also watch too when we get to that point. But I'm going to click on Shout It Out. And from here, it gives you the option to go to the Add Content dashboard. And this is a great way to kind of entice your learners, get them going when you're maybe introducing them to a new topic. Maybe you want to get their opinion on something. So you have a couple of different choices. You can leave it randomized where all the different entries are going to pop up on the screen. This Shout It Out also doubles as a great KWL activity. So if I select categories, I can put KWL, or the students can categorize their responses, but I'm just going to leave it on randomized. And I love this option now where I can actually type in a quick question for my students. And my question today is, why is goal setting important? Okay. For my students. So also what I love about Shout It Out is students can contribute text or images. So this is a great way to kind of display students' work if you wanted to, utilizing the image feature. But I just want my students to come in with text, but they can express themselves through an image as well. Maybe something that they drew, maybe they drew a diagram or something like that. They can share that out. You can have students have up to 99 responses or just one. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it on 3. And also, you can show or hide student names. So if you're going over any content, maybe the students are a little reluctant to share, or they care about what someone else thinks in their class, you are able to hide the student names and make it anonymous. But I'm going to show the student names. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Next. We do have the ability to customize your background, but we're just going to go over and use the classic theme. So I'll just select Finish. And then from there, I can rename this Shout It Out. I'll just put goal setting here. So you can also put the question here as well. So I'll just put goal setting. After we kind of do the hook, we're going to do a practice opportunity. So we have some game-based activities that students can learn from. So we're going to go ahead and click on this blue and white plus button again, and we're going to choose game-based activities. So there's 12 different game-based activities, depending on what your objective is, fill in the blank. We have digital flashcards, matching, sorting, sequencing. We're going to use Match 'em Up today. So again, I can preview with this little magnifying glass. As you can see, you're matching, working on one-to-one correspondence and memory with the student. So what we're going to do here, this is going to be that practice opportunity where we're going to introduce students to goals, but we're going to talk about SMART goals. So we're going to click on Match 'em Up. And from here, I can put into categories if I wanted to categorize my different options, but I'm not going to do that. So for the sake of time, I have my goals that I'm going to go ahead and use. So again, we're going to use SMART goals. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy the different examples here for my students to practice putting them in. So the first one is specific, and I'm just going to kind of put just a kind of quick word or phrase that's associated with the SMART goal. So the next one is measurable. Hillary, have you been working on any goals this summer?
Well, yeah. I have been trying to, my goal is to sweat every day, right? To
Yep,
exercise and work out. But I love using SMART goals with students because it makes it where like especially that measurable and specific, it gives it like little bite size and it doesn't feel so overwhelming. So when my first goal was to sweat every day, that was my big long-term goal for the summer. I just broke it up into little measurable, attainable bites. Like I'm just going to do this week, you know, or just 10 minutes. And now I've bumped it up to 30 minutes.
Awesome.
I love this game for students, Ryan. So you're doing this for vocabulary, but I've done this for like math facts or for sight words and different things that students can use. And I don't know if you mentioned it, but they're in Match 'em Up, you can also use images instead of text. So that's another great way to use this. If I was a reading teacher, and sometimes I had those students who were pre-readers. So if I wanted them to use images to match with a new vocabulary that they were using or just something like that, that's another great way to use it.
Yes, awesome. Yes, so you can use images. So I'm just going to go ahead and paste my last example here. And let's go ahead and get rid of that little dash mark. So again, if you wanted to use images, you can just select this little, what I like to call the little mountain peak here. So when you click on that, you are able to grab images from your device, maybe any screenshots you have. Also, another feature that we've added to save teachers a lot of time is you can also search for images on the internet too that you're able to pull in to your match 'em up. And some other games also have that capability as well. All right, so once I put in my goals here, so students again can utilize this. What I can do here is check answers, so I can do it instantly when the students go to move the different examples. It will correct them automatically, but I'm going to choose when prompted. I want my students to think about it a little bit, think about the word with kind of its definition here. So I'm going to go with when prompted. When I choose next, again, I can customize my background to go with, I could put like a goal theme if I wanted to, but I'm just going to go ahead and use just a simple theme that we have here. Let's go with the rock concert theme, and we'll select finish. And from here, again, this is a match 'em up, so I can name this goal setting as well. So I'll just put the word goal setting here. All right, so next, after I have that, I want my students to kind of apply their knowledge. So I have kind of a funny slide here that I brought in. Why are goals important? How will you accomplish them? So what we're gonna do now is I want my students to kind of think about what their goal is. So we're gonna use a graphic organizer. So we have built-in graphic organizers. So again, we're gonna come back down to this blue and white plus button. And now we're going to choose under ready-made resources. So this really saves you a lot of time depending on what you or what your objective is. We have entrance and exit tickets, manipulatives, and graphic organizers. So we're going to go with graphic organizers. There's 21 different ones to choose from, which is pretty cool. Those typical ones that you would normally use, like the Venn diagram or the T-chart. Today we're going to use the story map. So again, you can preview what they look like to kind of see if it is the one that you want. So we're going to make this interactive where our students are going to complete this through what's called a handout, and we'll do that momentarily. So we're going to go ahead and just click on story map. And then from here, we're going to start to build out. Now I can change the title. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock this here to kind of edit it. So we'll just put the word goal here. So the students can actually just type in what their goal is. We can change up the font style, the size, and the color. So we'll make it a little bit bigger, and we'll just put the word goal here in the middle. We can lock it into place. Okay, so it doesn't move. So once you click on it, we'll just go ahead and select lock. So for the remaining parts of the story map, we're just going to go ahead and put in, again, some of those are SMART goals. Hillary, what are some ways in which you like to use the graphic organizer, or which ones do you use most frequently?
My gosh, there's so many. So my favorite one is the brainstorming web.
Mm-hmm.
And right now you're editing in this, but what you're going to show us is that we are making this interactive for
Yes.
students, where students are able to author and annotate on the graphic organizer also. So you're making this into a goal setting page.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to empower the students to go ahead and fill that out by using their own choice on how they want to complete it. So they can add text, they can add annotations, and they can add images. And I'm always impressed and surprised at what students choose whenever they're completing these graphic organizers, where it's not so prescriptive. Like you have, if it was just a worksheet and they could only write with a pencil or a pen. Well, here we're giving them the opportunity to create with technology, and it's just really impressive what these kids come up with. But to answer your actual question, which was my favorite graphic organizer to use, I really like the brainstorming web. And then I really like the Freyer model and the Cornell notes. And you mentioned it here. You're just changing. This is a story map I taught reading. This was something I would use often. But I like that I could change it and make it match my content. We've made this completely just about goal setting. It's not even tied to content. So lots of options there.
Yes. All right, so the last one there is timely. So we're just go ahead and lock that into place. Now, a lot of these too, what's pretty cool is you can make maybe word banks or anything for your students. You don't have to lock them down. If you actually wanted students to actually move some of these different examples, you don't have to lock them into place. We also have the option. So what I did is I added text. You can also add multimedia functionality to your graphic organizers as well. So with this little multimedia button here, once you can upload images that you may want to use, you can add web links to maybe link students out to other websites that are associated to help them complete the graphic organizer. You can also search for images as well to kind of add to your graphic organizers for maybe more of a visual if you wanted to with your students. So right now, this page is it's view only on student devices. So what I want to do now is I want to turn this into what's called a handout. So that is where my students can digitally complete this graphic organizer using the annotation tools that are found within Lumio. So we've kind of changed where it is well, you'll find that now. So it's over here in the right-hand corner, this little magic wand. So once you click on that magic wand, you have two choices. The first choice is in individual handout. So that's what we're going to choose. But you can also choose to put students into small groups, or you can work in as entire class in a collaborative workspace. So we're going to go ahead and just make this a interactive handout. And then from there, again, I could just change the name of this. So I'll just put goal setting. All right, so from here, I can also, one other feature before I kind of finish up with this activity is you can also add audio. There is an audio feature where you can add in for those auditory learners to give students maybe directions, maybe read them a short passage. So there's a lot of functionality in which you can use the audio function to, again, give students the ability to hear what the directions are in the activity. So this little person looks like a person speaking here. When you click on that, you have the option to record up to 5 minutes of audio per slide, which is pretty cool.
I love the audio feature, Ryan.
Yes, it is awesome.
Ryan, you can do it for like adding instructions, but also I love this for giving some student autonomy where they don't have to come and ask me what are the directions. Instead, they can just click and listen, or you can add extension activities in there. I've done it for like reading text if students need a little bit of assistance, or maybe we're practicing with some word problems and I can read it aloud for them. It's just a really great way to scaffold learning for our kiddos.
Yes. So the last thing you want to do is important. So this already had a name. So what I'm going to do is just put today's date up here at the top. And then I'm just going to select finish editing. So you can change the title of your presentation. So I'll just leave it on goal setting and put the date. So I'm going to go ahead and select finish editing. It takes you back to your lesson library. And when you're ready to run it with your students, I'm just going to go ahead and hover over it quickly. So when you select start, it's going to take you into presentation mode. And what I can do here is I can just click on this little people icon. When I click on that little people icon, I have the option to do the little up arrow. So when I select the up arrow, I can go to hellosmart.com and your students would go ahead and enter your class ID. So what we're going to do now is go into how you would create and how do you get to this dashboard. So what we want you to do now is we want you to go to Lumio, so LUM.io. So our moderators are going to put that in the chat for you. So again, you're going to go to Lumio, so LUM.io. Once you get to Lumio or LUM.io, once you get on this page, what you're going to do is you're going to select Teacher Sign In. And when you click on Teacher Sign In, it's going to give you the option to sign in with either Microsoft or Google. So we'll give you, go ahead.
Sorry, I mean to cut you off there. So we are going to guide the participants through some time to create right now. We encourage everyone to come in and participate. However, if you feel more comfortable watching Ryan do this again, go ahead and hang on and just take a look here, because you will get a recording. We'll get a copy of this session as a recording. So maybe you're a person who needs to see and hear it a couple of different times. Follow along with the recording in the future and just watch now. If you're more of a button pusher and you want to get your hands in, go ahead and follow along with us. And that website was LUM.io.
Yes. All right. So again, we'll give you a little time to kind of sign in, whether you're a Microsoft or a Google user, and then eventually there may be a couple of questions as you log in. You'll get to your kind of landing page or your dashboard. So once you're back at your landing page or dashboard, we're going to start off with some ready-made activities. So we're going to do, we know SEL is kind of a big push right now as we're going back into the school. So we have some great activities that we're going to kind of share with you that we can edit, and we're going to make it a little bit more of a kind of an end-to-end activity. So again, we'll just give you another moment or so to get to your dashboard. So again, as you want to kind of follow along with us, to start your lesson, we're going to go back to this green plus button here, this add activities plus button. And once we click on that, it is going to, again, take us back to that content dashboard. Now, a few moments ago, what I did is I imported in a Google slide that I started with on goal setting. You also have the ability to start off with a YouTube video. We know videos are great for students when when you're trying to introduce something to them or to kind of entice them with the topic. The visuals of videos are great. The YouTube feature, it's ad-free, so there's no pop-ups. There's a filter as well to make sure nothing inappropriate comes up as you're playing the video for your students. And again, I love that it's going to stop on that one video that I want to play. But for the sake of this building session now, what we're going to do is we're going to just type in the word SCL check-in. So I can actually find content. So if I don't have anything to start with, maybe I want to get some ideas, you can do that now in our dashboard. So what I'm going to do is just type in the word SCL check-in. Okay, so if you want to type in SCL check-in, there's a little dash after check-in. So once you go to finish lesson content, I'm going to type in SCL check-in. So I'm just going to go here, just click enter, and you can see what comes up. There's a couple of different options that I have here. The one that I'm going to go with is the first option. So how do you feel today? So once I click on that, it does give you the option to preview the activity as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on SCL check-in. And what I can do here is, again, I can preview what it looks like if it had more than one slide. I can kind of sift through each slide and click on it to kind of see if it kind of aligns with something that I could work with. We also have some details at the bottom. It tells you a little bit about the activity and how to use it. It kind of gives you the grade and subject area and more. So it gives me some details before I select that specific example. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on Save to my lesson. Save to my lesson. So what I'm going to do here is click on it. And once I do that, it's going to bring me into edit mode. And in edit mode, I can edit this if I wanted to. When it comes in, it is going to come in interactive. So this is already a interactive workspace. So again, that's that collaborative option. The first one we did was an individual handout. So once it comes in, I do have the ability to edit it if I wanted to quickly preview it again for you. But if I wanted to edit it at all, I have the option to do that up here at the top where it says edit activity. And then I can just select edit and I could edit the activity, maybe add in any text, any images that I wanted to use. So you can use as is, or you can, again, have the ability to edit these as well, change out the text. So what we're going to do is we're going to add it back in as a workspace. So if you want to edit it, we'll click on the little magic wand again, and we're going to convert it back to a workspace. All right, so once we do that, this will kind of be our kind of Kickstarter. It's going to come in asking the students, hey, how do you feel today? And they're going to kind of do it as a group. So the next thing we want to go ahead and add in is a video. So we want to add in a video after the students complete this workspace. So we're going to go back down to our blue and white plus button. When we click on the blue and white plus button, we're going to go and use our YouTube feature. So once we click on YouTube, we're going to look for the video called The Mindset of a Champion. So the mindset of a champion. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. It kind of finishes it off for you. So I'll click on the mindset of a champion. And it allows you to preview the video as well, which is pretty cool. So if you click on the little YouTube icon in the right-hand corner of the video, it allows you to again, preview the video to make sure it aligns with what you are teaching. So I can go ahead and click on the video itself and I can choose add. So I'm going to embed this YouTube video directly into my presentation. Now, after students kind of watch the video, I'm going to use another graphic organizer, but this time I'm going to use a Venn diagram example. So the young man talked about a couple of different types of mindset. So we're going to use a Venn diagram for the students to kind of talk about the different between a fixed and a growth mindset. So we're going to select the plus button again down here in the left-hand corner. When we select that button, we're going to come back over to our graphic organizers. And we're going to scroll all the way down at the bottom is where you can find the Venn diagram. Again, you're able to preview it again to kind of see what it looks like. So we'll go ahead and click on Venn diagram. And again, I'm going to go ahead and add text to it. So we'll just go up here and just type in, make it a little bit bigger. I'm just going to put the word fixed. Sets. All right, just put that there. And then we'll just put growth mindset here. Okay. All right. So I can go ahead and lock that into place too. What I like about it is, again, you don't have to lock it if you wanted to make kind of like a word bank down here for your students to move. You do have that option as well. So we're just going to go ahead and lock that into place here. We'll lock that in. And then again, the students can utilize this. I can turn this into a handout, again, if I wanted to make it interactive for those students. So we'll go ahead again and click on this little magic wand here. When you click on that, I can select handout. All right, so once I do that, the last portion is we have some ready-made exit tickets. So what I want to do here is I just want to make sure, I want to gauge what my students have learned. How do they feel about the topic? Are they getting, what a fixed mindset is, a growth mindset, how they're feeling today? So just really want to check in with my students at the end of the lesson. So we're going to click on the blue and white plus button again, and we're going to choose a ready-made question under question and reflection. So I have some entrance tickets here under activating prior knowledge. So we're going to go over here to question and reflection. Once we click on question and reflection, I have a number of, again, exit tickets that I can use. In the last portion of the creation earlier in the session, we used the shouted out. So there's some pre-built shouted outs that you can use, such as 3 facts, 2 questions, 1 opinion. We have some other kind of digital handout activities or more typical exit tickets that you can use with your students, but a variety of different ways, 6-word summaries, cause and effect. But we're going to go with, how do you feel about the topic? Again, I can kind of preview it to kind of show you what it looks like. And it's going to give me kind of just a quick check-in with those students. So I can follow up with those students if they kind of answered, maybe they still need a little help or they're confused. So I'll show you what that looks like. These are editable, which is pretty cool as well. So once we click on how do you feel about the topic, we can go ahead and, again, I can select edit just to show you what it looks like. So how do you feel about the topic? I'm totally getting this. I mostly understand, but I have questions, or I am still kind of confused. So just, again, want to follow up with those students to make sure that they are all feeling confident at the end of the lesson. So once you are done kind of filling in the gaps or putting in everything that you wanted to add in to your lesson. Again, it's important to name your file. So this is SEL check-in. So again, we'll put in today's date up here at the top. And then from here, we can select finish editing. And when we select finish editing, it takes us now, again, back to our kind of lesson library where I can hover over it. I can select start. And again, it takes me into my presentation mode where I can get my students logged in. So I can get them logged in on their devices. Once I click on the little people icon here, it allows me to just display with this little up arrow, hellosmart.com, where the students can interact. They'll come in with my class code. Now, as a teacher, you are assigned a class code, and you can find that class code a couple of different ways. So as you're presenting to your students, your class code will be here, displayed here for you. You can also find your class code on your dashboard, on your Lumio dashboard as well. So under my name, you can see the class ID. So Hillary, what are some ways in which, with Lumio, what are some ways in which you kind of did some SEL activities with your students?
So using these ready-made resources is always a great option that they're ready to go, right? That we can think about that. But what we have here is, it says it's a workspace. So this gives us a couple of options. Whenever we have a workspace, students are working collaboratively in a group together. So I love this because I can see how my whole class is feeling, and that helps me kind of gauge how I need to approach our lesson. And if I have some students who are feeling stressed, or they put all right or tired, I know that maybe it's not a great day to get into a heavy topic, or maybe I need to adjust my teaching that way. So I love workspaces for that. But also we know when we're talking about SEL and checking in with students that sometimes they want to do things more independently and or privately, more anonymously. So we've done this as a workspace, but we could always check in with students using that individual handout activity, where I, as the teacher, can take a peek into what my students are doing, and it doesn't have to be so out there, which can feel really vulnerable to the kids.
Yes. So again, once you can set up your workspace, however many students you have logged in, it's going to ask you how many teams do you want. You can do it as an entire class as well. And we do have some different options here. So once the students are logged in, I have the option here to kind of get folks logged in. And this, I am able to kind of utilize some of these different annotation tools that I have here on the left-hand side, so for students to interact with. So students can express themselves utilizing the pen tool or the pencil here. So I can go over here and just kind of circle. All right, I'm feeling great today. They can underline if they wanted to as well. They can use images. So we have a multimedia button here, again, where students are able to express themselves. Maybe they drew a picture or found a cool image on the internet that they can upload, that they found and save to their computer, that they can upload directly to either their handout or workspace. Students can contribute images. Maybe they found a cool article on what you're talking about through that day, or maybe they found a cool video. They can add the link to that video that they may want you to share with the entire class. Again, students can search the internet for images as well down here with the safe Bing search. And also there's an A icon down here is where students can add in, maybe they don't see a feeling that they want to add in here. So maybe again, they're feeling tired, all right, they're feeling anxious, or maybe they're just, you want to just put in the word nervous or anything like that. You can use the text feature as well. So we wanted you to, again, take a few moments to kind of build out, play around, maybe sign in with Lumio. And if you have any specific questions utilizing Lumio, please feel free to, put those in the chat for our moderators. Maybe there's something that you didn't see within the session. Again, please feel free to come in and interact with us. Let us know how we can support and answer any of your questions.
So some of the questions I'm seeing now, Ryan, revolve around students logging in and how that looks. So I think what we can do really fast, if it's okay with you, I'm going to log into your class.
Sure.
So that way we can just see. And you guys can just watch in the Zoom screen because we only have a few minutes left. So I'm just going to join his class and it's loading. 2, 5, 6, 6. Okay. All right. Got it. I'm in. And so, Ryan, if you could, we're going to go ahead and just like reset this workspace. Sure. And you can see the students. So you can see there in the top, there's a student icon with a number 3 in the roster, and that shows you who students are logged in. So some people have said, can I see which students have logged into my class? And the answer is yes. So there's my name, Hillary. It just popped up. But I am going to go ahead and interact with this workspace. So I'm going to drag that little pointer, and I'm feeling great today. So you can see as I do this in live time, there's my great. It just popped up. Now Ryan can click on that pointer on great and see who's added it. So Peggy added this check mark, and that gives us some student accountability to check out that student attribution. And like Ryan was mentioning, we can add images of students, and it is a Bing online safe search. So I'm gonna add this little cute baby because that is how I am feeling. And I've got a cute little blonde baby just like that. Okay, so, and it's super quick. Ryan displayed the login directions. I went to his class and I was able to interact with that content there.
And also too, as the teacher, I can go in and kind of give that feedback if I needed to as well. So the students are able to see what I type on the screen as well. Maybe I wanted to, maybe not single out a specific student, but just maybe give them like a thumbs up or a great job. I'm able to kind of add in my feedback to the workspace as well. And you're able to see that on your end when I utilize some of these different tools that are here. And again, I love that attribution when sometimes when we put students into groups, we may not feel comfortable because one student may outwork another, but you can maybe hold them accountable by making sure if you're chunking the group work out with certain students, you can see who has done what, because again, when you click on that contribution, you are able to see who contributed that. So again, I can see that Hillary has given me an image and then Peggy gave me the check mark that is there.
And Carol asked, can you control who's on each group? And yes, you can.
Yes.
We did this as an entire one class, but you can divide it into small groups or partners as well and control who you pair together. Absolutely.
So once we select setup, it will ask you how many teams do you want. I chose everyone on the same team, but you can have 2, 3, however many folks you want to put on a team. And as you set up the teams as well, you can sift the students around to work with others. You can even it out to make sure your students are of all abilities are working together.
All right, Ryan. Well, we only have a couple of minutes left, so I want to head back to
Sure.
share our resources and make sure everyone feels really great about.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, so today, and we'll go to slide 10 if you're okay. We made our first Lumio lesson. If you watched, we followed these same steps. If you followed along to Ryan's voice, these are the steps we followed, but you are going to receive a copy of this. This is a really simple, straightforward way to get started. And as you play with Lumio more, you'll see just how simple and straightforward it is. I love that you can import resources that you already have. As teachers, we know that time is always in short supply. And so I love taking what I already have, like a PDF or a PowerPoint or a Google Slides or whatever you usually work with, and then adding that interactivity that Ryan showed. So I can take a Google slide and make it into a handout, or I can take a PDF and make it into a workspace and pair that with some of the game-based activities that are already made. There's also, we didn't get into it too much today just because we didn't have enough time to discover and share all of the amazing things that Lumio can do, but there is student pacing that students can work at their own pace and do this on their own time. There's also teacher pacing, and there's the ability to flex in between those two things when you're delivering, which I was a blended learning teacher and really utilized station rotation. So I really love that ability. There's also the option to share this with teachers. So if you are working with colleagues, you can do a teacher share link, and it gives them their own copy, which means they can differentiate based on their needs of their class. I taught ESL, and maybe Ryan taught special ed, and we needed to make some differentiations for our lessons based on the populations that we teach. Because you're using the teacher share link, it gives you that copy. So we'll make sure to hand you this like one-stop shop resource that our wonderful Casey made, and she is in the chat. So she gets all the credit for this because this is a really easy resource to look at. All right, Ryan, head on next to the next page.
Sure.
Now, we are going to put in the chat a link to some of our resources, but there are some sessions that are coming up. So if this was your first little dabble in Lumio, we've got some coming up about games, about using different activities and all of the amazing things that you can do in Lumio. So this was just to dip your toe in, get in pool. But if you want to dive head first into the deep end of the Lumio pool, check out some of our sessions that are coming up. It's going to be awesome. We have continuing professional development throughout the school year. So we have webinars regularly about all kinds of different topics, not just about Lumio, but also about just more pedagogy and using different things in your classroom. And this also has some getting started resources. So I am a person who likes to watch a quick little, like 1 minute YouTube video and then go try it on my own so that I can pause things and do it. And we've got all of those quick how-to videos for you all linked here. All right, Ryan, go on down to the next page. So I want to share about our ambassador program. our ambassador program is truly global. It is growing and growing, and we are so excited to watch that professional learning network and all of the amazing things that come up from it. I've seen some of our ambassadors in the chat. They are so helpful to share their ideas. But here's what I want you to know: is if you think Lumio is an awesome tool and you're excited to use it, that's who should apply to be an ambassador. We're not looking for the pros who already know how to do it, although they're great too. We want people who are on fire about it and can share the great ideas and all of the things that are happening in your real live classrooms. Now, there are some great benefits of being in the Lumio Ambassador Program. My very favorite one is that you get to see all of the different sneak peeks for the updates that are coming. So we are regularly trying to improve our product. We listen to what our users say, what teachers in the classroom are experiencing, because we want the product to work for you. So if Lumio is something that you're excited about, come on and join our ambassador program. It's very, very fun, and I love getting to be a part of that community. All right. Thank you, everyone.